Nope. Alright. 10 seconds in, 12 seconds in. Hey everybody, this is RocketQueen71 coming at you live from my headquarters in Oklahoma. We are live outside. And it's a beautiful Friday night. I got a new chair to sit in. Thanks to my husband. I got the best husband in the world. Love you, baby. Love you, love you, love you, love you. And I wish there was a table out here to put my Java Monster and my water and my cigarettes and my lighter and whatever else I have and stuff. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday night. I hope you're chill and cool and calm and collected. You love my new shirt? If I can get up, that is. Oh my God. This is my new shirt. And you know, I'm very loud. Very loud. With what I do on my stream. I'm trying to make some changes, guys. Oh, by the way, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm trying to spread awareness by talking about it. How do you spread awareness of mental health? Or don't you talk about it at all? I think it's important for people to know about what's going on with you, what's going on with other people, not to be ashamed about it. You know, a lot of people are still ashamed about it, to talk about even depression or what they're going through. They can't express it. And when they can't express it, when you use that lens, it flips everything so your shirt is showing up backwards. Well, what lens do I use? Is it better? Is this better? Or no? Well, I'm glad you are, Moto. You would have to use the front of the camera. Well, I can't do that because you're on fire? Well, so am I. So let's make a wildfire change, Dean. Let's make a wildfire change. Woo! It seems like I can't get my stream right. You know, my pain in the ass production manager. I have to get one of those DJI mics too. Wildfire, I think you're over those wildfires though, actually. No, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not. And alright, so I'm gonna explain it. Way back when, in a galaxy far, far away, okay, there was a streaming platform called Mixer. And I miss Mixer. Okay? And I started streaming on Mixer. Just for the fun of it, nothing big. Until one day, I got accepted to the Embers for All program. Thank you. I look pretty hot too, huh? No, I'm like, all right. So, my slogan was always, let's create a wildfire of change. Because the Embers, right? Embers, is a part of fire, whatever. And that's how I got started with that. So maybe it was a premonition of some kind to have that slogan. And so I stuck with it. Because Embers are like bits in Twitch. So I said to Jim, with all the Embers I get, I'm going to donate the money to a charity. And I raised $400 with the Queen's Charitable Knights, which is now the Queen's Life Brigade. And I gave that money to Strong Tower, faith-based rehab in Houston, Texas. And it wasn't all about me. It was everybody else that donated. I put everybody's name on the letter. Because that's how I am. You see? But, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to give a shout out to somebody. To Sean Cannell. For those that don't know who Sean Cannell is, he's a part of Think Media. Okay? And I'm a part of his group called RVA. Or no, I'm sorry. VRA. Sorry, Sean. I'm sorry. Well, all right. Well, he's a YouTuber, and he look up Think Media on YouTube, and so I'm a part of his group, okay? Because I'm doing a lot of strategizing and stuff with my stream. So we were in a Zoom call, and this is the second time he told me this. I wish I filmed it. He says, Rocket always has this good vibe with her studio, with the wildfire and all that stuff. And I feel so proud of that. Because, yeah, I might be over the wildfire around here, but inside my studio, I'm not. Because I am trying to create a wildfire of change where people can get uplifted and supported and cared about. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, the world's getting darker and darker and darker and darker, guys. We haven't seen nothing yet. Nothing. Especially when it comes to AI. And I'm in the throes of AI, and you know that, guys. And it's not good. But that's been my motto, creating a wildfire of change. But with this stream right now, it's outside, it's raw, naked, stripped down. Because somebody from the other night says, I love your outside streams. I'm like, all right, well, I couldn't do it yesterday because I was so freaking tired. I didn't stay up for 2 hours. 2 days, but here's something you're not gonna forget, baby. You ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, right. Sorry, I slipped back in the 70s. Yeah! Bachman Overdrive. Bachman Turner Overdrive. Baby. Yep. I used to love that song too. And you know what? I should put that on my stream too. How we wish this was back in the 70s or even the 80s. You know? I'm telling you. We had it so good back then. We really did. And the internet ruined it. The internet, corruption, one world government, you know, the New World Order that actually started back in the 80s. No, it started back in the 90s with Bush Sr., right? Why doesn't AI build like a time machine for all of us just so we can go back there? I would. I wouldn't be, slamming dope in my arm every day, though. I'm just saying. But, great to see you, Dean. What have you been doing with your tattoos? What kind of work have you been doing with your tattoos? I really want to get one. Hanging out with your friends, focusing good times around the cars and vehicles, going to cake parties, tubing down the river. The band and stuff, there was a place in New Jersey, in West Milford, New Jersey, Passaic County. Not the city part, not the urban part. I'm talking about, suburban area, rural, whatever. West Milford. And the guys and I, a few friends and whatever, we went to West Milford to a place called Lake Henry. It took us 5 miles to get from the cars all the way up the woods. And we had to have it marked, right, so we wouldn't get lost. Those were good times, okay? But if we had to carry kegs, and we were packed, okay? We were packed and stuff. Well, Lake Henry was a natural spring lake. It was cold. Oh my God, it was cold. Even if it was like 90 degrees out, it was so cold. But we used to jump off the cliffs. But when you jump, you couldn't go straight down. You had to jump and then, jump forward so you wouldn't hit the rocks down below. Actually, one of the guys and stuff broke his ankle and stuff because he didn't go far enough, and so he broke his ankle. But of course, when you're all high and smash and blitz and stuff, you're not going to walk 5 miles back to the cars. You just camp out. You know what I mean? And when we used to go up there used to be watchtowers. Like castle watchtowers and stuff. And I guess that they're from World War II, maybe? we didn't get the whole history and stuff. But yeah, they had like castle watchtowers or something like that. And hardly anybody knew about that lake. But it felt pretty good jumping in that spring lake when it was 90 degrees out. West Milford, Lake Henry. And there was a time too back in the 80s where I actually swam across Cedar Lake in Denville. Because all my friends were doing it. Well, let me see. Yeah, we did. Way back when. Yeah. Hell, we even did that in Indian Lake at times. How you doing, JJ's? Yeah, those were the days, you know. Yeah. How are you, JJ? Thanks for dropping in. JJ meet Moto, Moto meet JJ. And cheers, guys. Java Monster is the only rocket fuel for this Rocket Queen. Hell yeah! Here! Here, you want? Here, I'll pour you some. There you go. Go, 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 go. You know how I love my Java Monster? I usually get like a 12-pack for a week, right? I don't even last a week. And those things, you're the best. You're the best. I love you, Dean. You know that. And I hope one of these days, you know, we get to meet. You know. Loco Nico. Yeah, I've had Loco Nico. Wink, wink, if you know what I mean. Wacky Tobacco. It's really nice here. You know, it's, it felt too good to come outside and stream. You know, I was in my studio and I was like, yeah, I don't want to stream in here tonight. I really don't. And so, you know, when I got off the Zoom call, I came out here, you know. Yeah, because, you know, the lighting, you know, sunlight and out in nature and, well, you know how I am with late nights. Oh, God. The other night I streamed for 8 hours. 8. Not good. Not good. But I had fun. That's all that matters. But still. When I was on Mixer, I used to have long, I mean, I'm talking about long streams. And it's very unhealthy. You know. I try to cut my streams at 3 hours at the most now. And I'm trying to cut my intros down in the beginning. And then I revert right back to like the half hour ones, the half hour intros or whatever, because I'm trying to get my message out. About fentanyl and addiction and depression and mental health awareness and whatever. Well, exactly. 3 hours is, but not 8. But I was riding on such a high. Streaming can be addictive too. But a friend of mine told me, he's like, why do you stream for so long? Like, this is when I was on Mixer and whatever, right? Why do you stream for so long? I said, well, I love doing it. He says, you do? I said, yeah. He says, yeah, because all the attention's on you, right? I said, I'm not narcissistic. I'm far from it. I don't wear makeup. Look, I don't wear makeup, nothing, all right? Nothing. He says, yeah, but he says, but when you get off, you're in so much pain afterwards. Fine. Sorry. He's like, you're in so much pain afterwards. And I'm like, well, it's true. So he's like, when you're focused on other things and when people give you the attention, whatever, it's like, your adrenaline is coursing through your veins like, Java Monster is. Oh, I just heard a helicopter. Anyway, I just enjoy myself. You know what I mean? I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy getting to know them. That's all. So, I mean, there's this YouTuber, I think called Angry Grandpa Gaming or Gaming Grandpa or Grandpa Gaming, whatever. And he has a video, right? And he was talking about his wife, and his wife says, "Get off that machine! Get off the camera and stuff. You've been on for 8-9 hours or whatever." She was saying to him, and he says, "I can't because I'm in less pain." He says, "As soon as I get up from the chair, I'm in so much pain." Well, that's how I feel. But sitting for that long and whatever, isn't that great? It's not healthy and stuff, but I do get up more and stretch and get, like, say, the ice pack for my back or do whatever. My health comes first. Last night I didn't stream because I had to get my rest and my back was killing me. Oh well. But I streamed for what? 8 hours, hours before that. So, I put my time in. I wish my cats would come out here. Luna's over that way. Pawnee's sitting on the steps. But yeah, this whole, this whole atmosphere is different. You know? I want to get a table with an umbrella, like a patio set. And I want, I actually want to start painting. Like Bob Ross. But my own kind of Bob Ross kind of painting, you know? And you can find paint sets kind of cheap on Amazon. Like acrylic paints and if you want easel and paint brushes, all kind of paint brushes and paints and whatever. So, I was thinking about having the table in the front yard. Because I don't want to be inside all the time in the spring and the summer and whatever. Oh, wait, I don't know if you can see him. Can you see him? That's Lunar right there. Can you see Lunar? I don't know if you can see him or not. Yeah, I think you can. Lunar, what are you doing? Lunar. Lunar. I am not a cat whisperer, as you can tell. Lunar. He's on the hunt for something. Pawny. Come on, Pawny. Nobody wants to get near me. They're doing their own thing. Lunar. Lunar. Hey. Yeah, come over here. Come on, Lunar. Can you still see him? I don't know if you can still see him. Yeah, you can. There he goes. Well, thanks for joining me, Lunar. Come here, sit on my lap. Sit on my lap. Come on. Come here. Ah. There you go. Yeah, I know. Like, ow! Don't do that. Yeah. Lunar is such a baby. He's really a baby. Right, Lunar? You're a big baby. Your daddy's a big baby, though. I hope you're not ruining my shirt with your claws. But, stop. I love you. Say hi to camera. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Hi there. There. Ow. Pawny. Now here comes Pawny. She's searching for something too. You know, this is really getting uncomfortable. Ow! Alright. This is really getting uncomfortable. It really is. Ow! Stop. Ah! Well, you'd think Lunar was climbing Mount Everest or something. Alright, Lunar, you gotta get off. Ow! There, you can sit. You can sit on my lap. Yeah, so Lunar's been in our family for a while. 2 weeks, he was hanging around with Jim out in the back there and just following Jim around and whatever, and was getting close to Jim. So in a way, he was like a stray. And then 2 weeks before my cat Magellan died, he was coming around and whatever. And then one day when Jim was going to work, there was Lunar, and all of a sudden it was starting to rain hard. And I said, "All right, give him to me. I'll feed him." And there we have Lunar. All right. Yeah, you're purring. You're purring. Oh, yes, you will. And there's a fact about black cats. A lot of black cats don't get adopted because, you know, of superstitious reasons. So a lot of times, you know, these black cats get put into shelters or whatever, you know. Yeah, I know. He's a very lovable cat. But him and Muskogee don't get along. You know what? I think they're getting along better. Pawnee! I know when I, yeah, you can get down. Ow, that hurt. I know, like, when I'm feeling anxiety or anxious or whatever, and Jim will tell you this, that I want all the cats inside. I don't know why, but it's like I want all the cats inside. Pawnee. But a lot of times when I go through anxiety or anxiety attacks, you know, panic attacks and whatever, you know, it's like I'll try to like pet my cat, whether it be Lunar, Pawnee, Muskogee, Cherokee. It's usually Muskogee, but for the longest time now, you know, he just stays in one spot because Cherokee thinks he's the king cat of the house. And so, yeah. I'm looking at my roof. And I don't know if there's a bit charredness on it from the wildfire, or it's just from the branches of that tree just, you know. I've been watching a lot of Phil Robertson stuff lately with Duck Dynasty and all that. I think there's got to be a void with that too. You know, even though he wasn't a pastor, or a preacher, but he spoke about the gospel, and he spoke about his life, how Jesus turned him straight. I'm trying to do it my own way. With recovery and and awareness about mental illness, about mental health. And I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I'll tell you that much. And yeah, I talk about God. I talk about Jesus. But I don't push it on people. When it comes to my stream, everybody's welcomed, but my main mission is to speak about my recovery, to help those that are still struggling with drugs and alcohol and or mental illness. That's my main goal. But I don't want to be put in a box either. I want to run free and get wild. That they talk about niche and stuff. What's your niche? What's your niche? Well, my main niche is me. I mean, that's arrogant. What I'm trying to say is my main mission is spreading my message out. That's it. I guess it would be cool, mental health or self-help. You hear the birds? There's been a couple of cardinals flying around, and I think it's, there's a wise tale saying if there's a cardinal, it's one of your loved ones that passed away. And sometimes I think, I wonder if that's my mother-in-law. Because to me, she saved this whole property from that wildfire. I swear she did. God, I miss her. It's nice and peaceful out here. it's just, chill. But I will admit, guys, you know, Jim will tell me before he goes to work or whatever. He's like, take advantage of the day. It's gonna be nice and beautiful out, and sunshine and all this stuff, and I'll go out there and say, let's say I'm in a lot of pain or whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay, because even though it's nice and sunny or whatever, it's still cloudy in my world, because of my pain. But it's just nice to see green out that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can still see some effects of the wildfire. Pawnee! Pawnee! Lunar. But they're doing rebuilding at our neighbors. "78 years old, and he lost everything. He's a Vietnam veteran. He lost 6 cars. He lost his whole house. He's been in this neighborhood forever. And last weekend they actually started a bonfire, a controlled bonfire, by the way. And I was a little bit nervous about that because, for various reasons, you know that, right? And so they're starting to clear out all that stuff, and they're gonna rebuild. And I'm happy for them and stuff, but I bet you insurance will pay crap, very little. But he raised 3 doctors. 3 doctors. 3 doctors. And 1 family. And, wow. I want to, go out there. I have my flip-flops on. I want to go out there and see what they're doing. But I'm not going to go out in the woods just because I have flip-flops on. Plus, I have these pants I bought. I don't know if you can see them or not, but it's like... I have hot pants! Hot pants on. It's all for the stream, even though you can't see, it's all about the wildfire. So when I was in the Zoom call with Sean Cannell, who thought my whole studio had grade 5 and stuff, I'm so proud of that. The first time I met him on a Zoom call, whatever, and he saw my studio in the background, he said, I love it. I love the vibe. I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, And then he said it today. I was like, yeah. I would like to talk to him. I would really like to talk to him. But I felt really proud. I know. Oh, wait, hold, before you go. Sean Cannell, the guy from Think Media, when I was on the Zoom call again today, he talked about my studio again. He says, I always love that vibe. And I was so proud. I wish I could have filmed it. You know what I mean? And actually, I was talking to one of the Think Media coaches, right? I can actually have a meeting with one of the coaches. And I was talking to this girl, Melody, who's a coach, and she says, I asked her, I said, because they brought it up where, you can go to this, site, you can have a one-on-one, like channel audit, like they'll tell you what's wrong with it or whatever, So I talked to this one girl, Melody, and I said, it's free? She said, yeah, it's free. I said, well, I didn't know that. And I said, well, can I get in on this? And so she told me, she sent me the website, so I signed up for it. So she said, yeah, you'll have a channel audit with, I forget their names. And I said, well, what about you? What about yourself? Wink, wink, And she said, yeah, sure, I can join in with you and whoever else, But most of these people, like, they all, they all do videos. I do live streams. And yeah, I do make videos. Actually, shorts. You know what I mean? And so, I think Melody's, because they were talking on intros. I said, yeah, well, I have to work out my intros. I know that because they're really long, but they're for live streams. And she said, yeah, the most, the intros should be only like, say, 30 seconds long to a minute, I guess. Because everybody's attention spans is crap now. Right? Thanks to the internet. Thanks to scrolling. So it's like, well, yeah, but what about if I'm live? Intro shouldn't be that short. So maybe I should just do certain, videos that aren't live. And I hear a plane. It's right above us. No chemtrails, though. Now, there was actually a plane crash near Tulsa Airport. The 2 people on the plane are alive. Nothing happened to them, thank God. But, yeah. A lot of plane crashes happening. Not good. I think a few days ago, a plane went down in San Diego. Every time they talk about a plane crash, I think about my mother. My mother, when I was growing up, for those that don't know, my mom and dad got divorced when I was 3 because he was an alcoholic. We moved in with her parents, my grandparents. So my mom went to work, and during the day, my grandmother would babysit me or take care of me, whatever. Okay. Well, she worked in aircraft radio. She used to make airplane radio parts, and she got promoted to government inspector. Government inspector, with radio, components, and all that, and but then she got laid off, and they actually renamed it from aircraft radio to Cessna. And at one point, Cessna, I think their headquarters is in Wichita, Kansas, right? So the company actually, gave them like a package saying, well, if you move to Wichita, Kansas, we'll take care of you, and, we'll find you a house or whatever. Well, my mom didn't want to do that. So my mom didn't want... Excuse me. So my mom really didn't want to do that. And all that. And thank God she didn't, because all these people that went to Wichita, Kansas, there was a lot of layoffs. I think the plant shut down. All that stuff. So, yeah. So every time I see a small plane like that, I think of my mom. I wonder if there was radio components that were built by my mom or inspected by my mom. All that. And it's funny too that Jim works for... That's a good question. How different would if I lived in Kansas and not in Jersey? Well, I mean, you can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl. So, but I don't know. That's really a good question. Do you think I would have changed? Actually, well, hold on. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a story. When I visited my father down North Carolina. Oh, winter's coming. Like, come on. And we're like, yeah. Oh, now he's going back. All right. When I visit my father with my mother, hey, how's it going fishing? What kind of fish do you like to fish? What kind of fish do you like to catch? I've been fishing. I love deep sea fishing. Alright, so Jim, when I visit my father down in North Carolina, we had to stop at like a convenience store or whatever. And these guys, right? I'm 16 at the time, mind you, right? These guys from North Carolina, right? And they were hot, okay? They were wild, okay? And they're like, woo, look at her, they're like, woohoo, whatever, right? Because they knew I was from Jersey, right? I wanted to run with them. I wanted to run with them. Like, I mean, I didn't because we were there for a different reason. But I wanted to take care of my father and all that. You know? I told my father, I said, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. I'll make the appointments for you, whatever, you know? So, but yeah, if I moved down to North Carolina, I think I would be a, wild one. Kansas, I don't know. Yeah, like Dorothy. I don't know. I love fishing. You don't know? What kind of fish do you like to eat? Do you like catfish? Do you like mackerel? Flounder? Well, flounder is deep sea fishing. My friend's uncle had a chartered boat in Belmar, and the guys in the band and I, we used to go down there at 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 in the morning. We had to get up around like 3 o'clock in the morning, and stuff, and go down there. We would go to Dunkin' Donuts, get coffee or whatever. We had to get something else, if you know what I mean, for our trip. And we would go down there, and I caught 15 mackerel, no joke. I was like the champion of mackerel. Talk about holy mackerel. Yeah. But I would like to go fishing with my husband and stuff. He has experience. I've have experience too with just fishing in a lake or whatever on the lake. It's not all about fishing either. It's pretty much relaxation and being at peace. You know? I like to do that. I think Jim, before he met me, or even before he met his ex-wife, there's a story that his ex-wife said that Jim's girlfriend was a lesbian, a dyke, whatever, because she used to like to fish all the time or whatever. I don't know, but that was the story, you know. So I guess that's why he doesn't like to fish anymore, is because it all remind him of her. My niece-in-law, she owned a bass boat. Oh, like one of those the pros, you know, like the championship fishing tournament. Was she a lesbian? That's why you don't want to fish. So she wasn't a girlfriend. She was a whatever. That's why you don't want to fish anymore, because it'll remind you of her. I'm a tomboy. I'm not a lesbian or ain't, you know that, okay? But I'm just saying. But I mean, I would go. I'd be. Oh, so you were so, all right, this is a bad joke, okay? All right. But you were so bad and stuff that you turned her into a lesbian. You converted her into a lesbian. I wonder if... Hey, Jamie, what's up? why can't we go? Oh, Jamie, this is Jim. Jim, this is Jamie. Yeah, I know what you're, yeah. Like what I told you when I was on Xbox about sushi. We're outside and live, Jamie. Jim is my husband, and Jamie is. Oh, Jamie, I showed Jim the video you showed me with LP. I was? Yeah. I love her. Hearts. I love, he likes, alright, so, Jamie, you should check out, Mark Lanigan. That's his favorite artist, and mine too, actually. You know, I like some songs he sings. But my Mark Lanigan is LP. No, Mark Lanigan. Yeah, Flanagan. Actually, when he died, Mark Lanigan did. He died in Ireland. He died from kidney disease and all that. But yeah, if Jim's listening, he should put his name down. Because he's a very underrated artist. Mark Lanigan. He used to be in the Screaming Trees back in the 80s, 90s. But yeah. See, Jamie, you made an impact on me. There you go. There you go. Mark Lanigan. You know the Screaming Trees. All right. Love you. Yeah. It's what you do. Well, I'm hoping that I'm an impact on you in some way. In a good way. That's the only reason why I stream. You know. But you know what? Okay. But you know what? I think, like, today, right? With the Zoom call I had with Think Media, I really want to do You're a Nutty Genuine Aries. I'm hard at it. Yes, I am. You can ask my husband. You can ask Jim. No, I'm nutty in a fun-loving way. Yeah, and I am nutty because I'm from Jersey. That's why. Believe me, when I was on crack and heroin, I was... Forget it. I told Jim, I said, I don't want you ever seeing me like that. But there's been times where when I had my first panic attack here, okay, It was around like 4th of July weekend or whatever, I think. And Jim was mowing the lawn. And no problem. Moto meet Jamie, Jamie meet Moto. That shit crazy. Yeah. Well, yeah. Believe me, Jamie. It was all about ego and yeah, all about that. My first panic attack here. Jim was, it was around 4th of July weekend or something like that. He was mowing the lawn. I was in bed, and I was like, there was something off with me, okay? And I was like, it was really bad. I called Jim. He couldn't hear me because of the lawnmower. I came. I said, come, Jim, come over here and stuff. I said, I had to call the ambulance. He said, why? I said, because I don't feel good. I was flipping out, okay? I was having a panic attack. We were in the bedroom, right? And he's like, you're really scaring me. You're really freaking me out. What's going on? I said, I had to go to the hospital. I don't feel too good. He said, I'm not calling the ambulance and stuff. He said, I'll take you. I said, no, I need to go. You have to call the ambulance. The people from the ambulance people came and stuff. And here I'm like, just like this. I'm like, I don't know what was going on with me. But, yeah. I was freaking him out because, you know, it was like, what's going on with you now? Like, but now Jim has an understanding. Like, when he's not tired or frustrated or whatever, or stressed out, I have the best husband in the world, but there are some times when I'm, like, having a panic attack or, you know, with my pain getting to that certain level or whatever. Jim gets, like, really, like, you told me that already, Vic. I don't feel too good. You told me that already, Vic. Or he'll just, you know, he'll pull out a dad joke and he'll say it and I'll just snap me right out of it. Or we'll watch something together. Or you know what I mean? He's gotten a lot better with understanding when I go through panic attacks and whatever. You know, I really haven't had a panic attack. They're becoming less and less. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not fun, you know. It really is. Now the sun's going down. It's setting. It's getting more peaceful, right? But, hey, I'm gonna ask you guys this. All right, you like these shades, or should I put on another kind? Look, I had these, right? But watch. There you go. I had these. Now, there's a story with these. I used to be a semi-poker pro, okay? I'm retired from that. Sometimes I used to wear these in tournaments, okay? But there's a song. You like the flame? All right. But there's a song that I usually play on the stream sometimes by Shinedown called Diamond Eyes. Diamond Eyes. And because of my recovery from crack and heroin since 2004, alcohol since 2011, I see clearly now because I have diamond eyes. Much better. How you doing, 402? Thanks for dropping by. You like the flame ones? All right, we'll put that one on. There you go. Yeah. See, I hear another. Do you hear it? Yep. In Cleveland here, not in Ohio, by the way, and not the county. Cleveland here, we have a small airport. But, yeah, I hope that plane doesn't crash. So we had a small airplane crash near the Tulsa airport today. And nobody was killed, nobody was hurt, thank God, right? Thank God. And here comes Lunar. You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. Hi, everybody, hi. Yeah. No. He's a little baby. Ow! Ow! Don't ruin my shirt. Oh my. Ow. 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 Oh, he's chasing after something. Hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Yeah, so. Hold on, guys. There you go. So, life is beautiful, guys. Life is beautiful, and I am grateful that I left Jersey when I did. You know, when we're out here at night, you can actually see the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper and the Milky Way here. Out in Jersey, there's so much light pollution you can't see crap. Like when they had like the blood moon, or when they had like the total like the lunar eclipse or whatever. You know, you couldn't see much of it because of all the light pollution. So, maybe one night and stuff when it gets really dark, I have a fire pit here, right? We can light that up. I have stuff for it that it turns like the flames blue and red and green or whatever. And what are you running back for? So maybe, you guys and maybe Jim and me, we can all have live stream. Come on. You want to come up? Come on. Come here. Say hi. He's back from his hunting trip and... Ow! He's like a little baby. He's very needy. But yeah. Look at the baby, look at the baby. Hi. Hey, hi. Ow, ow. No, alright. More. Ow. Look, you can sit on my lap. I am actually surprised Cherokee's not out here. Pawnee's sitting on the steps. I would even like to, walk around right now with you guys. But I'm afraid if I do that, what? Here we go. Ow! Ow! What? Alright, yeah, I don't want... There, down. Yes, it is! And you know what? I'll even check to see if it's off. Give me 1 minute, guys. Give me 1 minute. Alright, I'm back. Yes! It was off! And I actually should have took the phone with me. And I got this. So, cheers, guys. Java Monster is the only rocket fuel for this rocket queen. Hell yeah! Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. One night when Jim's not working, we could sit out here with a fire pit, do the careful sporkies and the fire, and just talk. I think that would be nice and relaxing. But the only thing is, if it's too dark, you guys aren't going to see us. But, But I hope you guys are having a wonderful, fantastic, rocktastic Friday night. I know I am. It's relaxing here. The sun's setting that way. You know. The moon is crescent. I don't know if you can see it or not, but can you see it? Can you see it? I don't think you can. Maybe you can see it a little bit. Can you? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you did see? Good. All right. So maybe I should do some, like, not live streams. You know, just do, like, a little, like, docu-series, like what I do during the day, or just, like, come up with something. Just to mix it up a lot. I just like doing live streams. That's what I'm used to. I take a lot of video, though, of, say, you know, when Jim and I go out to eat or whatever and stuff, but it just sits there on my virtual desk on the computer collecting dust, virtual dust. You know, there's a lot of times I wish I had the camera inside the car with both of us, because sometimes we have interesting conversations or whatever. You know, Dark Side of the Moon, baby. One of the best albums in history, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. And one of my favorite songs, is on that album called Comfortably Numb. I wonder why. Someone asked me the other day, like, when I hear, like, old songs, like I used to listen to when I was high, do I get urges or anything else? No, I don't. That obsession left me a long time ago. I think about the old times. I don't entertain the idea of getting high again, you know, because, I mean, that's not negotiable. But I think about, you know, the good times and the bad times, and, you know, and the real bad times, and, you know, the real dark times, you know. For some people, when they, you know, like with Jim, you know, he says he's like Highway to Hell. Yeah, it is. It is so. And yeah, Jamie, yeah, every addict, okay, if somebody tells you, like the old timers of AA, there was old timers in AA saying, I didn't enjoy drinking. No, I did. I didn't enjoy drinking whatsoever. That's bullshit. Okay? People, addicts, had good times, and then something clicked, switched. Okay? And that's right, Jamie, that's right. know why. God, stupid freaking Streamlabs. I used to hate when I was in rehab and they showed videos of like people, smoking crack or, banging themselves or whatever. And we're all like, oh my God, we want to get high. I used to hate that feeling. Now that I watch like certain shows like Intervention on A&E or whatever, and they do it, it doesn't bother me. I'm quite fond to have known that I was an addict, and now I don't have to look at them. Wait, I can't read with these glasses. I need glasses. All right, wait. I'm quite fond to have known that I was an addict, and now I don't have to look at them differently. Explain that, Jamie. Explain what you just said. You mean, you got through that you knew you were an addict, now you just put it past you, right? The experience of addiction changed you, whether you believe it or not. It made me a different person. A person that you didn't want to know, pretty much. I used to think acts were stupid. Now I just think that they have a lot of pain from childhood. Well, yeah. Well, there is a root cause. There is a root cause. There's a lot of. What about Highway to Hell? Boy, you're really active on my channel, honey, tonight. You must be not busy. All right, so everybody, this is Jim. This is my husband. He's working right now. And, so, Highway to Hell, like my husband, all right, he used to love Highway to Hell. Not anymore, because he's Christian. When he listens to it, it hits a different way than when he was younger. When he was a big pothead back in the day. But now it's like he doesn't like that kind of music because it's, because of his beliefs now. I still listen to my music. I still rock out to Highway to Hell or what, or whatever. But I will admit, when I was first getting clean and sober, back in 2004, and I listened to certain songs, it made me want to urge. It made me Jones for certain things. I remember in 2004, the show Intervention came out, and I saw the first episode, and it was about a guy smoking crack. And they actually showed this. I said, why would they show this on TV? And why didn't they arrest it? Because it was for documentary reasons, I guess, right? And I turned it right off because it made me like urge for crack and stuff. You know? That was back in 2004. Then 6 months later, I ended up relapsing on alcohol. You know? So, you know, but I justified saying, well, at least I'm not, you know, on crack and heroin anymore. At least I'm not banging my arm every freaking day, 3 times a day, 4, you know, whatever. You know, I justified it. You know, but I knew the alcohol was going to end up the same way, if not killing me. You know what I mean? And after my husband died, everybody thought I was going to die within 6 months from the alcohol. It didn't happen, did it? So, you know. Thank God it didn't. I'm out here right now, right? And I'm actually seeing lightning bugs. Have you noticed now? Like when I was growing up in Jersey and stuff, we had a lot of lightning bugs. Now and stuff, you maybe see 1 or 2. Not like it was way back when I was growing up. Why is that? Hi, fishing. Welcome back. There's a documentary talking about that. I saw it a week ago about what happened to them. And same thing with the bees. They're saying that the bees are almost non-existent. Is it because of maybe the insecticides that are on the flowers now? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I just see that one. I wish I could show you guys. It's just that, just boop. See? It's just boop. It's all the way by the shed. I don't see any other ones around here. What we used to do when we were kids is maybe that's why they're dying off, because we used to, like, if they landed on our hands or whatever, we would smash them and just, you know, put all that fluorescent stuff on our arms and stuff. Really? What, with the fire, with the lightning bugs? Or you mean you're talking about the bees? Yeah, I just see that one, and it's just going inside the woods further. But I don't know how the BPH, well, wait a minute. You could be right. Yeah, you could be right because, like flies, if there's, they, with the garbage and stuff, right? Insects just go on the bottles and they try to get their food. Right. I get it now. All right. I get it. Yeah. But I don't know. I think because of the bees and stuff. Oh, now I see two of them. See, I wish I can show you guys. Now I see two of them. Now they're not. One to. Well, anyway. Yeah. There's a documentary I want to watch about a. I actually have it on Amazon Prime, and I started watching it, and I fell asleep during it. But there's a documentary about how these addicts, okay, one addict in particular, he became a dope addict. He ended up in prison for 3 years, and after he got out of prison, he became worse. He became violent and all this stuff. He actually killed himself. And I want to see it. He was actually interviewed by Soft Underbelly. No, I know what you're talking about. But he was interviewed by this YouTuber called Soft Underbelly. And he interviews a lot of addicts and alcoholics from Skid Row in Los Angeles and other places. And so I was interested, and so I still have to watch it. These days, I rather see. Hey Dexter, how you doing? I rather see documentaries than movies. How you doing, Dexter? Thanks for joining in. I'm doing rocktastic. How about you? It's getting dark, isn't it? It's getting darker and darker and darker. Yeah, I rather see. But you have to watch, because some are very liberal thinking, and they push their agenda too. You think one documentary is going to be good and truthful and whatever, and then you get into it and it's like, that's not the truth. That's, But they have a lot of free documentaries on YouTube. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch certain documentaries too. And on Netflix and whatever. But, I have a question for you guys. Do you think a documentary should be made on me? That's not narcissistic at all. No. I'm like, give me best documentaries have you watched. Yes. You would be bored with my documentary. No, you wouldn't actually, but the best documentary, Scared Straight. Scared Straight. Not the show. Scared Straight. It was made in 1978. And it was filmed at at Trent State Prison. What? Oh, man. Oh. The end of the world. Oh, I know the show is really great, too. Yeah. I actually used to watch the show, like, from, like, the recent shows. But these kids do this for hey, because it's TV. So you really have to think. All reality shows are scripted. I don't care if it's Scared Straight or not. It's still scripted. It's the end of the world. I can't. I have to look it up. But I saw documentaries on like Def Leppard, Motley Crue, but now it's getting darker, isn't it? I should have did this sooner. Maybe I should switch back to going to my studio for a little while. Well, the dogs are out. I don't know whose dogs they are. Yeah, they're from over there. I think one of these days, guys, we're gonna have, like I said, we're gonna have the fire pit. We're gonna do the sparkly color flames. Maybe have a couple of tiki torches for the light, and we could just have a stream this way with me and possibly Jim. A fireside chat. Fire pit chat, right? Look at the moon. Can you see the moon? Wait, hold on. Up, there it is, right there. It's a great night just to chill out and relax and contemplate and reflect on things. We do live by a highway. Actually, when I used to live in Denville, New Jersey, we lived right by Route 80. So I'm used to the highway noise. But when you come out here at, say, 2, 3 o'clock at night, it gets so peaceful. Yeah. Real nice. Alright, so what's gonna happen is this, guys. I'm gonna have a cigarette. Okay? I know you can't see my beautiful Jersey mug. All that stuff, but what's gonna happen is this. I'm gonna have a cigarette, we're gonna chat for a little bit longer, and then when the cigarette's gone, I'm gonna turn off the stream and then just do whatever. Now what? But thank you for joining me, guys. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. You know, just by you being here is enough. You know, so it's May 31st. It's the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. I don't know what June is. I know June is Pride Month. To each his own, guys. To each his own. You know, addiction and mental illness affects all walks of life, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, whether you're heterosexual, homosexual, transsexual, whatever. It affects everybody. Whether you're poor or wealthy. It's not prejudiced. So, that moon is kind of bright. I mean, there it is right there. Oops. Even when you hear the crickets, it's like peaceful. You know? And sometimes when I hear like the trucks going by, and even when I hear, when I hear the trucks rolling by or whatever, I think of the song "Take It Easy" by the Eagles. But honey, if you're listening, I want you and I one night during the weekend, not this weekend, we don't have to, but look, what? Yeah, I know. I know. I'm gonna turn it off after the cigarette. It's peaceful though, you know. At least you know I'm still here because you can still see the reflection, you know. But yeah, it's peaceful here. At least we had some time together, guys. I might go in the house and actually maybe start up a stream and all that again. You know. Like, yeah, it's kind of dark now. What? Coolidge? Is that? I can't even see what you're saying. What? Coolidge? You're not talking about Calvin Coolidge, the president, are you? Yeah, Coolidge. I have, you know what? Yeah, I'm fading away. Yeah. Like the song, Rock of Ages, right? Fade away. Or just like Back to the Future, right? When Michael J. Fox's character and stuff tries to, not change history or whatever. And his mom and pop are disappearing, his brother and sister, Yeah. Well, that's me, baby. And everybody, when they come in the stream, they're going to say, what is that, like an alien or something? A droid? But anyway, I'll probably go back to my Twitch studio and just fool around a little bit. But I'm going to put this out, guys. Hey, guys. Thank you. Yeah, get to the... I am so... Moto, you don't understand. Oh. Thank you. You don't realize how much that means to me. Jim is proud of my studio, too, because I built it up from nothing, from ashes. Okay? But when you guys say that, like, oh, I love your background, I love your studio, and then I do. And then when Sean Cannell said that, I was like, wow. And he said it twice. He said twice in 2 weeks. And it just made, I want to talk to the guy, but he's a busy man. But anyway, guys, I will be right back. I don't know when I'm going to restart my stream from my studio or whatever. I have to just stretch and just get hydrated and whatever. But I love you, Moto, okay? And I truly appreciate you. And I appreciate my husband. I have the best husband in the world, and everybody else that came on the stream tonight. Even the trolls! I didn't feed the trolls, though. But I will see you soon, guys. Have a good one. Stay rocktastic. I'll see you soon. Bye! Bye, 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 bye.